Pitch of the ball game is belted in the air to deep right center, but playable. Thomas going over to run it down. One pitch, one away.
I would expect that's exactly the way that they're going to attack Verlander today. He's a guy that you cannot allow him to get ahead of you. If he does, he usually puts you away. He's already had a couple of starts against the Cleveland Indians, and he struck out 22 batters in 16 innings. And so they know how good JV can be.
It's a good sign. We'll see if he can continue that here this afternoon against an Indians team that checks into play at 35 and 53.
They were swinging them sticks last night, though.
Yeah, they put a ton of hits on the board last night.
A lot of extra base hits.
Cleveland had 12 total, and I think at least half of those were for extra bases.
Yes, indeed.
2-0 on Grady Sizemore. It is an absolutely beautiful day here at the ballpark. 75 degrees. A few clouds in the area. The 2-0. Grady in the series 2 for 10. He has a triple. Verlander trying to work at that quick pace. Sizemore stepped down on him momentarily. Now the 2-1. And that's through for a base hit. Sizemore pulls it into right field. A one-out single for Cleveland. Bring up the catcher, Victor Martinez. Well, the Tigers, with a victory here this afternoon, would go to 48 and 39 heading to the All-Star break. That is the mission today. Jim Leyland's team, no matter what happens here today, will have the lead in the Central going to the break. They came in 2.5 up on Chicago. I mentioned Sizemore's numbers last night. 9 stolen bases, but he's been caught 7 times. And this is not a very good duo to try and run against, both Laird and Verlander.
Verlander needs to be careful these days as far as his move is concerned. Last couple of times he's gone out there, he's been called for a balk. And I asked Justin, what are they calling? And he said, my left foot. He says, my left foot, I'm just spinning with that foot instead of using my right foot to turn. And Verlander admits that his move is kind of borderline, but he's been kind of surprised that his last couple of starts he's been called for balks.
Well, I've always maintained that you could take just about any left-hander, and his move is a borderline balk too.
Yep. I wouldn't disagree with that. But once he comes to that set position, if he just spins with that left foot, you'll see guys call a balk on him.
Off speed, missing outside to Victor Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Martinez at 294, yet he is really struggling going to the All-Star game. 3 for his last 43. High and away, 2-1. Verlander with a victory over Kansas City in his last start. 3 earned runs in 6 innings of work. 9-4 record, shooting for win number 10 heading to the break. And if Verlander gets his 10th win today, it'll be the 3rd time in his career that he's gone to the break with 10 victories. He did it in 06 and 07. And a good shot here in 09. 2-2 on Martinez. That's pulled towards second. Nice play by Polanco. Shovels for 1, and the relay is a double play. Well, you got to love that infield defense from Polanco. report on Tomo Oka of the Indians. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
It's been a long time since Oka got a win in the major leagues. You have to go back to 2007. And as a matter of fact, that's the last time he saw the Tigers. He and Nomar are the only born Japanese players to amass 1,000 innings pitched in the major leagues. He's one of those guys that's not overpowering. He's kind of a touch and feel guy. Throws breaking balls and fastball counts. Tigers will have to be patient today against Oka.
Curtis Granderson will lead it off. Curtis 1 for 5 in the series. He was supposed to get the first game of the series off and did as a starter, but then Anderson got hurt. He was hit by a pitch, and Curtis had to come in late in that game and played yesterday's game as well. Oka misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Curtis told me today he's going to fly to St. Louis after the ball game, and then after the game on Tuesday he's going to hop in the car with his mom and dad and ride back to Chicago.
Nice.
Little family trip
to the Windy City. That's not too long of a trip, I don't think. That's not short either, though.
I wouldn't think it's too far.
About 5 hours. 3 balls, 1 strike. Granderson, Polanco, and Cabrera here in the Tigers' first inning against Tomo Oka. He's 33 years old, out of Kyoto, Japan. Now the 3-1. He lost him. Leadoff man is on. Granderson aboard.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Oka in the ball game. It's presented by Honda Bloomfield. You've got Chu Sizemore, Francisco in the outfield. Peralta, Cabrera, Valbuena, Garco, the same way they lined it up in last night's game. They're in the infield once again. And so is Victor Martinez behind the dish.
Here's Polanco now. Placido at 260. Hitless so far in the series. And Oka keeping a close eye on Granderson, and now he'll step off. Grandy this year with 15 steals. He has been caught 4 times. And he steps off again. Victor Martinez again behind the plate for the Cleveland Indians. Strike 1 on Polanco. Cleveland scored first in the ball game last night. Tigers got a pair of runs in the second to go ahead, but that would be their last lead of the night, although they challenged in the 9th inning on the home run by Miguel Cabrera. Well, you can tell Oka is really concerned about Granderson. He has stepped off a couple of times, that time throwing back. Martinez and his percentage not all that good. It's in the teens in throwing out runners. And a bouncing ball back to the mound. This should be 2. It's in the dirt, but picked nicely down there by Cabrera, who turns the double play. Not the best of feeds, but Asdrubal Cabrera was able to make the play.
And when you work deliberately on the mound and you keep the base runner at first, and of course Granderson has the ability to steal, but if he can't get a good jump, and that lines up perfectly for a ground ball pitcher, and like Oka, to get himself that desperately needed double play.
Cabrera's .321 average is now good for 4th in the American League. He went the opposite way with a home run off Kerry Wood last night in the 9th inning, which made it 5-4, and that's as close as the Tigers would get.
It's the first time he had played long ball in that direction in a while.
Overall, 18 home runs for Miguel. Now the 1-1. Cabrera chatting with Estabrook. I don't know if Cabrera either didn't like that last call or was asking for time, which may have been why he was pointing to his ears. Didn't you hear me? Perhaps he was saying. Here's the 1-2 on the ground to the shortstop. Routine for Asdrubal Cabrera. He throws on Miguel Cabrera. Tigers done in the first, no score. Who is the American League first half MVP? Is it A, Joe Mauer, B, Justin Morneau, C, Ichiro, or D, Jason Bay? Text A, B, C, or D to 37338 or FSDET. And let us know who you think the first half MVP of that quartet is. Verlander back to work now in a scoreless game in the second. And Justin facing Shin-Soo Choo. Batting .296. Choo takes an off-speed pitch in for a strike. 1-1. He'll be followed by Hafner and then Johnny Peralta here in the second. Tried to check it, but he went around.
Back-to-back changeups to Choo. Why wouldn't you, though? He's a good fastball hitter. But now you got him set up for a fastball should you choose to throw one. But don't miss with your location.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
You have to have a whole lot of confidence in your changeup to throw 3 in a row. And all 3 were tremendous pitches.
First strikeout for Verlander, who has piled up a ton of them this year. 141. That's 142. Now Hafner with 1 out. Travis 3 out of 8 in the series with a couple of RBIs. And strike 1, and Hafner not liking that call.
It's starting out to be a good day for Verlander when he starts in the velocity range of 92, 93 with his fastball. It's a good sign. It means he's not overthrowing. And we all know that when he really needs to reach back and get a little bit more, he's always got that in his tank. It's a nice weapon to have.
Now the 1-1. On the ground to the right side, Polanco will charge. And Cabrera gets back to the bag in time. 2 gone. That'll leave it up to Johnny Peralta. Saw Verlander breaking for the bag that time as well. He wasn't sure if Cabrera was going to go after that ball, and if Cabby did, then he needed to get there to cover. But the first baseman got back in time. Peralta batting .257. That's pulled back up the middle and through. Base hit. 2-out single for Peralta. And the second hit in the ball game for the Cleveland Indians. That'll bring up Ryan Garko. Garko is 1 for 7 in the series, but he's hit safely in 10 of his last 11. Shot in the air to right field. Clete Thomas coming over, and that's going to be it for the Indians. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. Bottom of the second. Coming up.
The 2009 MLB All-Star Game, including President Obama throwing out the first pitch during the Pepsi All-Star pregame show. Coverage begins Tuesday at 8 p.m. live from St. Louis, only on Fox.
And there are your All-Stars. Jackson, Granderson, Inge. Verlander, of course, was warming up at the time. He had a stand-in. But the Tigers sending 4 to St. Louis. Thames rips one to left. Leading off the bottom of the second, Marcus is on with a single. And that'll bring up Clete Thomas. Well, Tomaoka has appeared against the Tigers just a few times in his career. 0-2 with an 8.49 ERA. And just a handful of Tigers have some at-bats against him. He has not faced the Tigers since April of 2007 when he was pitching with the Toronto Blue Jays. Big swing there by Clete, 0-1. There are the rest of the numbers that Oka has against Detroit. Very small sampling, although he has had a very large sampling of teams in which he has pitched for. Boston, Montreal, Washington, Milwaukee, Arizona. Flared toward left field. On the move is Chu. Still coming. Can't get there and foul ground. Sliding on that track trying to get to that baseball. It's been somewhat overcast here today, so that certainly will help the outfielders in terms of having to deal with the sun, at least at this point in the game. We'll peek through every now and then. Oka missing high. 1-2 on Thomas. Clete 3 for 5 in the series. Now 2-2. The Indians signed Oka last December as a minor league free agent. Hammered to the gap in right center. Trouble. It's going to go to the wall. It should get a run in. Thames rumbling toward third. They're going to send him home. He's coming around to score, and Thomas has a triple. Clete Thomas found the gap, and he was off to the races.
This ballpark yields a lot of triples. 23 this year, as a matter of fact, combined for home and visiting clubs, and that's the biggest difference in Thomas since he's come back up. No longer swinging, no longer trying to hit the ball in the ballpark, simply trying to find the gaps, and Marcus Thames just cruising. He knew he had a triple as soon as he touched second.
4 for 6 in the series for Clete Thomas. Tigers have a 1-0 lead and a golden opportunity to get another. With Thomas standing at third, nobody out.
If you're a gap-to-gap hitter like Thomas, this is the perfect ballpark for you. Get Tim's little oxygen down there.
That's popped up. Foul ground, first base side, and caught on a slide by Garco. That'll keep the runner at third base. Inge is out.
As a hitter, those are the worst. When you're standing up there and they're giving you an RBI with the infield playing back and there's nobody out. You hate to give those RBIs away.
Inge, a little scouting report for the on-deck hitter Gerald Laird as he walks back to the bench.
Also probably asking Laird if Anderson doesn't do it, you make sure you pick me up. That's what it's all about.
Infield coming in now as Josh Anderson digs in. Broke his bat, rolled it to first base. Run will not score. Garco makes the play, 3 unassisted. So 2 outs, and it's going to take a hit now from Gerald Laird. Single by Thames, triple by Thomas. And now with 2 outs, they'll relax the defense. Infield back. Gerald 1 for 6 in the series. Ball 1. Laird over his last 16 games hitting .321. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the 1-1 pitch. So Oka now sitting pretty here and trying to get out of this jam with minimal damage. He's given up the 1 run, but he's gotten ahead of Laird. Gerald has 23 RBIs this year. Here's the 1-2. Got him. Strike 3. Side retired. So all things considered, nice job by Tomo Oka. 1-0 Detroit.
And today, the Tigers family wanted to make sure that Gates knew just how special he was to our family and Tigers fans.
So congratulations, Gator.
I did not realize he was as good a pinch hitter as the numbers indicate.
That was really his specialty. He was outstanding. One of the best. Valbuena is leading things off, and he'll flare this one back toward the seats.
He holds 2 American League pinch hit records for career hits 107 and career home runs at 16. That's not easy to do.
No, not in that role.
He was a good hitting instructor as well. As I like to say, he kept it simple.
Was that his strength, you think?
That was his strength. He kept it simple.
1-1. 1-2 on Valbuena. He'll be followed by Francisco and Cabrera. Well, you've done some hitting instructing, and that can be a very tricky and challenging thing, especially when you're dealing with different kinds of approaches and stances and different kinds of styles.
I think what makes a good hitting instructor is the guys that have the versatility to teach various styles to different players. And what I mean by that, you just can't teach every single young kid the same.
Slap to center where Granderson is waiting. One gone.
You have some kids that have speed. You have some kids that have power. You know, you just have different attributes, and the good hitting instructors are the ones that are able to bring out the best in those kids or adults even.
Here's Ben Francisco. Lloyd McClendon does a terrific job with the Tigers hitters. Of course, he has a lot of big league experience in different areas of the game, including managing, which I assume someday he would like to do once again.
He has said as much.
Low and inside, 2-0 on Francisco.
Francisco, dead pull hitter. But apparently Granderson in center field, not thinking that he's going to be able to turn on the Verlander heater because he is playing him on the right side of second base.
Fouled back out of play.
But if you look at his spray chart, right field is kind of foreign to Francisco.
Three and one. Francisco at 242, 1 for 4 in the series. Had a pretty good year last year, 15 home runs. And he has just taken a walk. It's a 1-out base on balls, first of the game for Mr. Verlander. By the way, did you know that this game is available in crystal clear, stunning, high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. One on, one out. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera.
Do you know who the Kung Fu Panda is?
That's the Sandoval kid over in the National League, right?
Yeah, it is.
Uh-oh. Bad pickoff throw. He might get to third on this one. Francisco running to third base, and he's going to get there. The ball got caught up. Francisco's going to keep coming, but now the umpire is going to signal get back.
Tigers caught a break there if he has to go back to second.
I think they'll give him third. Or no, they're giving him second. He's not sure yet. The signal came late. Here comes Eric Wedge out to get an explanation from Marty Foster.
I think what Eric will try to argue is the fact that Francisco was already around the bag and headed to third when the hands went up. But he's not going to win that argument. And not a good throw here by Verlander. And by the time it gets run down, there's absolutely nothing they could do.
So now the tying run is in scoring position with 1 out. And there's a strike call anyway.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, I mean that Pablo Sandoval kid.
Yeah.
Have you looked at any of his numbers? He is having a tremendous year in San Francisco.
I will admit to you, the first time I really looked at his numbers is when he was in the final vote, and I thought, whoa, I didn't know they were that good.
He does all kinds of stuff before he goes into the batter's box, and he's got him excited in San Francisco. It's good for them.
Do you have any idea where the nickname Kung Fu Panda came from?
Well, I mean, if you watch him before he goes into the batter's box, he does all kinds of different things. And I'm sure that someone came up with that creative name for him.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Asdrubal Cabrera.
And here's where Verlander has the ability to throw that legitimate swing and miss pitch. He leads the American League in strikeouts and pretty much can get one when he wants one.
And he missed it outside. 2-2. That error, by the way, was the second of the year for Verlander. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And there's the strikeout. Cabrera is down on strikes number 2 for Verlander. Probably one more mountain, though. It's Grady Sizemore due up.
Verlander can get the strikeout with the fastball, the curveball, or the changeup, which is rare. Most guys don't have swing and miss changeups. Trevor Hoffman does. Of course, Fernando Rodney has a swing and miss changeup. And Verlander gets a lot of swing and misses on his changeup with 2 strikes as well.
That misses high. Now, as a hitter, it's got to be extremely difficult knowing there's a guy out there that can strike you out, especially when you're down in the count with 1 of 3 pitches.
Well, you just have to choke up and spread out and hope that they make some type of a mistake up in the strike zone that would allow you to put the ball in play. You're obviously not in an advantage against a guy like Verlander once he gets 2 strikes on you. But if you're not trying to do too much at this level, you should have the ability to put the ball in play. But I think a lot of guys run into trouble because they still try to be the enforcer in the batter's box while they've already gotten 2 strikes on them.
Well, Sizemore now has run the count to 3-0. Victor Martinez on deck.
I don't know if Grady's the guy that has the green light 3-0, but if there was ever a chance for Eric Wedge, this might be it.
Let's see. He's taking strike 1. Grady earlier this year got his 19th career leadoff home run, which gave him the franchise lead over Kenny Lofton, who held the previous high at 18. That's hit in the air toward left. It's going to stay in the park. Anderson over to make the play. Side retired. So the error doesn't matter. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Detroit. Now, and don't forget, it includes a $300 food credit. If you'd like more information, call 313-471-BALL or log on to Tigers.com. Seattle and Chicago coming up in the month of July. There's a bouncing ball to first, right at Ryan Garco, and Santiago is out on one pitch. We'll bring up Curtis Granderson. Grandy walked in the first inning. Tigers got their run in the second on an RBI triple by Clete Thomas. Granderson came in batting .333 this season against Indians pitching. One ball and one strike. There's a strike, 1-2. Oka ready with a 1-2, and it's fouled back out of play. Polanco will follow. Tigers with a win here today take 4 out of 6 on the homestand. Heading into the break. The 1-2 is pulled on the ground to first. Garco will hit the pitcher covering for the out. 2 gone. Well, we talk about Granderson of the Indians. Yes, he's hit well against Cleveland, but he's also turned in maybe the catch of the year. Remember this on May 8th? Sizemore in the 9th inning. A game saver. Robbing Sizemore and saving Verlander. What a play that was. Just the sheer excitement of that play.
I think you said it best. It may be the play of the year. And there are some other great plays out there, but I don't think any of the magnitude of that one. If that ball goes out, Tigers lose. And Verlander had pitched a gem.
Yeah, he was awesome on that night. And we tend to forget that Verlander still had to get one more out after that catch was made. That was only the second out that they made on Sizemore.
And what aided Grandy in making that catch, obviously he has tremendous athleticism. But being a former basketball player, he just kind of scaled that wall and climbed it, and he was about 5 feet over the wall and pulled that thing back.
Looks like he went up for an alley-oop.
Slam dunk. I used to have some hops like that.
Did you really?
Negative.
I never did. That's hit well, and a running play out there and right by Ben Francisco. He takes an extra base hit away from Placido Polanco. Nicely done by Francisco. Well, Victor Martinez will lead things off. Martinez, Shin-Soo Choo, and Travis Hafner. Verlander misses low and inside. Martinez behind the plate in this one today. There's some thought that they want to move him to first base and just kind of turn things over behind the plate to Kelly Shoppach, but Shoppach was hitting around 200. When you look at the long-term plan, I think for Martinez with his bat, it's probably at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Of course, these Indians were one of the favorites coming into this season based largely on what they did at the end of 08. They finished 44-28, and coming into this year, Eric Wedge's team was thought to be one of, if not the favorite in the Central. 2-2.
They acted quickly in the offseason, addressing their closer situation. They signed Kerry Wood to a 2-year contract.
They brought in Joe Smith to set up games. The 2-2 pitch. Sometimes it doesn't work out as planned, and the Tigers can attest to that in the 07 season. Verlander taking his time, and now Martinez steps out. Victor is moving in on the club record for home runs by a catcher. John Romano at 89 holds that record, and Victor Martinez is 5 shy. Three-two pitch. Lifted to right field, shallow. Thomas with a running play, 1 gone. Victor 0 for 2.
This gives you an idea of just how good Verlander is. Take a look at this swing by an outstanding hitter in Martinez. I mean, 3-2, totally fooled, out in front. Harmless fly ball to right. And that's because he's looking for a fastball, 3-2, and Justin throws him that changeup. He's had a great changeup today. Tremendous changeup. He struck Choo out last time up on 3 consecutive changeups. First pitch that time, fastball.
To get ahead. And now 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's what you have to do if you're layered. And you have to pay attention of what you're calling. You know, the next time a guy comes up, so you can kind of change your pitch pattern.
Breaking ball in the outer edge, 1-2. And he got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner.
He's nasty.
His 3rd strikeout.
He is straight nasty. You talk to some of these Cleveland players and they will tell you the 2 games that Verlander threw against them in May are the 2 best games that they have had thrown against them all year. And he did it in back-to-back starts, which makes it even more difficult to do.
Boy, it sure does.
He saw him on a Sunday here at Comerica Park and then went there and did it to him again on either a Saturday, I believe it was. Within the 1 week. Friday, excuse me. That's hard to do.
Well, those back-to-back starts produced 16 innings, 1 run.
That's when he was rolling. That's just when he was starting to roll. I think he had 1 start against the Yankees before that, where he dominated them. And that's when he went on to win Pitcher of the Month in the month of May.
And had quite a stretch of victory, 7 straight wins.
And bear in mind, this Cleveland Indians team, they used to beat up on Justin, excuse me.
Yeah, they did. And that was, you know, coming into the season, we talked about that because Justin had made his big league debut against the Indians back in '06. I think it was on the 4th of July in their ballpark. And never really was able to beat them, or at least handle them the way he has this year. The 2-1.
He's got some tremendous arm speed with that changeup today. That's what sells the pitch. That's what makes the pitch. When you throw 95 and then you come back and throw a changeup from that same arm slot and that same arm speed, it's going to be an unhittable pitch.
96, reaching back and throwing it by Hafner, 3-2.
Leland has said on a couple of occasions this is the best that he has seen Verlander since he's been managing the Detroit Tigers.
Well, last season, Verlander was nowhere near the pitcher that he has been this year and has been in the past. And Leland has said over and over, you know, when a guy finally has some adversity in his career, and you're going to have it at some point, everybody does, you just have to learn how to work through it yourself. And that's something Verlander did, and especially at the start of this season as well. He lost 17 games last year. With the stuff and the talent that he has, I mean, think about that. He lost 17 games. And to be able to work through that and come back this year to put together an all-star season.
He wasn't pitching last year, though, like he's pitching this year stuff-wise.
Yeah.
The velocity wasn't there. Wasn't the same thought process for whatever reason in 2008.
And Hafner reaching shallow right center field. Thomas with a diving attempt that drops in. A base hit. Boy, Cleat almost got to that ball. Loop single for Travis Hafner.
Kind of gives you an idea of the range that Thomas has. Looked like Granderson got fooled momentarily. He wasn't going to catch it, but Cleat got a pretty good break on it and a pretty good read and almost made a very nice play.
Well, there was a ball last night that Asdrubal Cabrera hit to the gap in right center that Cleat was able to run down. It was a very impressive play last night. He has shown a lot of range out there. Ball up high to Johnny Peralta.
I think Verlander's dad, when John Keating had him on Tigers Live, I believe we were in Baltimore when we made our trip over there, he was talking about what he saw in Verlander last year. He said he saw a pitcher that was trying to be a touch and feel guy, more sinker balls, more curve balls, more changeups. And he said the son that I know and the one that I raised had always been a power pitcher. And he said that he was glad to see Justin go back to being that dominant power pitcher this year again.
Well, I think there was an emphasis going into last year being put on the Tigers staff to go deeper into games and to, you know, pitch into the 7th, 8th, and even 9th innings. And maybe that was at the start of the reason that Verlander kind of reinvented himself last year.
It's a valid point.
But this season, totally different. Strikeouts are up. Fouled back out of play. And certainly so is the velocity. 2-2 on Johnny Peralta, who singled back in the 2nd. 3 hits given up by Verlander, all of them singles. After not much of a threat down there at first base with his wheels. And a swing and a miss, and an ugly looking swing there. 4 strikeouts for Justin Verlander. 4 players were the first African Americans to play in an All-Star game. Can you name them? A couple should be fairly easy. Of course, Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby, Don Newcomb, and Roy Campanella were your 4. All of them outstanding baseball players. Here come the Tigers now, leading it by a run as we play in the bottom of the 4th inning here. Miguel Cabrera leads it off, and then Marcus Thames and Clete Thomas. Oka had a quick 1-2-3 third. 1 ball, 1 strike. He hit him. Cabrera hit by the pitch, and he is aboard. So the Tigers get another base runner. Let's see what Thames can do. Just barely got him. It's only the 2nd time this year that Cabrera has been hit by a pitch. The team leader is Brandon Inge. He's been plunked 9 times. One 1-0 on Marcus Thames. Fouled straight back. Marcus had a single score to run back in the 2nd. He had singled to start things off in the 2nd, and then Thomas cashed him in with a triple. The Tigers failed to score Thomas, though. He was at 3rd with nobody out. That would have been their 2nd run. Line drive to left, just about the same spot as his other base hit. So he hooks Oka into left field again. 2 for 2 for Marcus.
Marcus is one of those hitters that you can't set up. Oka throwing some balls inside, then going back outside, trying to see if he can get Marcus to lean in that direction. Marcus is thinking about one thing, and that's turn and burn on everything that he sees in that hitting zone. He will pull everything. He's very difficult to set up.
So we'll see what Thomas can do here with 2 men on and nobody out. Drills this one in the air, high and deep to left center field. Sizemore going back, still going back, and it's gone. Clete Thomas. He's done it again. The new and improved Clete Thomas.
Thomas has a tremendous amount of power to left field, left center field. That one I thought initially was not going to get out of here, but apparently it had a little wind behind it, but he's also got some strength. That's a big, big knock, especially the way that Verlander's pitching here today.
A triple and now a homer for Clete Thomas. It's a 4 RBI day.
We're going to be talking about him getting a cycle for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, he's halfway home with the most difficult one out of the way. All he needs is a single and a double. Here's Brandon Inge, who popped up in his first at bat. Boy, Thomas seems like a different guy. 5 for 7 in the series against Cleveland. That's drilled in the air toward left center field. Hit pretty well. Sizemore on the run for this one. So is Chu. And it's gone. Back to back. Thomas and now in. 20 homers for Brandon.
There is a little wind up there today. It's a breaking ball that one-handed out of here by Brandon Inge for his 20th home run of the year. But if you stay back and generate some bat speed and get underneath it, you've got a chance to hit one out of here today.
Inge will go to the All-Star game with 20 home runs in his back pocket. He has 56 RBIs.
He's getting warmed up for the home run hitting contest on they do that on Monday, right?
Yes, on Monday. Game on Tuesday. I think the Futures game is today, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
The All-Star festivities, more than just a game. There is activity now in their bullpen. Mike Gosling is warming up for Cleveland. 5-0 Detroit. Here's Josh Anderson. One 1-0 on Anderson, who bounced out in his first at bat, 0 for 1. That's lifted in the air to center, playable for Sizemore. That's the first out of the inning. Hit batter, single, homer. Tigers have a 4-run fourth. Here's Gerald Laird. He'll shoot one foul the other way. Tigers now 5 hits, and of those 5 hits they have a triple and 2 homers. What a job Thomas has done since being recalled from AAA. Second time this season Tigers have gone back-to-back. Grandy and Cabrera did it back in May against Minnesota. And by the way, now it's the second time that Thomas has a 4 RBI game this year. Right before he was sent down, he had a grand slam against the Angels. 2-2 on Gerald Laird. So Oka running into a big time speed bump here in the fourth. Two balls, 2 strikes. Gerald struck out his first time up back in the second inning. Three and 2. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Oka typically has not had very good luck against the Tigers. Haven't faced them a whole lot, but his ERA was almost 9. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Laird goes down swinging. Second time he's fanned today. And there are 2 gone. He's going to leave it up to Santiago. Tigers this year have 18 triples. 12 of them have come at home. The triple by Thomas earlier in the game was the 18th. Ooh, and Santiago hit by the pitch. Looked like on the left arm or hand.
Looked like a breaking ball jumped up and bit him.
So Cabrera started the inning, hit by the pitch. And now Santiago, and Eric Wedge says, I've seen enough. So we'll have a pitching change courtesy of Wallside Windows. We step aside as Oka departs. They're awfully crooked. Meanwhile, we have a new pitcher now. It's Mike Gosling.
He started the season in AAA in Rochester for the Minnesota Twins and was pitching very well. 7-1. And apparently got his release and signed with the Indians and finds himself in the big leagues.
So Gosling now is on to face the lefty Curtis Granderson with 2 outs. 5 runs, 5 hits for Detroit in this game. Curtis takes up high, 1-0. Walk and a ground out for Granderson. Two balls, no strikes. We were talking earlier about how the Indians went out in the offseason and kind of restructured the back end of their bullpen, which they felt was probably going to be a little bit better than it has been. Gosling signed by the Indians early June. There's a strike, 2-1.
Must have had one of those agreements with Minnesota that if he wasn't in the big leagues by a certain date that they would grant him his release, because he was pitching well in AAA Rochester for Minnesota.
That is lifted in the air high and deep to right center field. Sizemore will get there at the warning track. So the Tigers have a big inning nonetheless. Back-to-back homers. Thomason in. Stick out in this one, Rod. Of course, Clete Thomas, will start with him. He's having a big day and really looks like a different guy coming back from the minor leagues. And Justin Verlander, what more can you say about him?
Well, Clete Thomas told me the other day that as much as he worked on his swing mechanically down in AAA, mentally he kind of worked on his mind, because he had to slow the game down once he got back to the big leagues. He's been able to do that since he's been back. He's put some great swings on the ball. And what more can you say about Verlander?
Yeah, I mean, he has been absolutely dominant again here today, and Justin now has gotten some offense to work with. A 5-0 lead for Verlander as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Only 3 hits given up by JV. That's popped in the air toward right. Thomas on the move, still coming. Foul ground. Nice running catch. Stayed with it.
You know, that is one of the toughest things to do at this level, is to slow the game down when you start to struggle, whether it be a position player or a pitcher. But Clete feels like this time around he'll be able to handle some of the adversity that you go through as a big leaguer. He said he was struggling swinging the bat and just was squeezing the sawdust out of the bat, and therefore he was not getting any hits. striking out a bunch.
So far, so good.
He feels better.
Luis Valbuena, 0 for 1. Lined out to the center fielder back in the third. Thomas, with his 4 RBIs today, also has 4 putouts. Working both sides. Verlander deals a strike 1-1 on Valbuena.
And half of me wants to think that when they did send Cleat down to the minor leagues, when they brought up Don Kelly.
It's popped in the air. Santiago back, but Anderson in.
The Tigers were getting ready to go into National League ballparks, which meant Jim Leyland was going to have to do some double switching. He needed a little bit more versatility. Of course, Cleat is just an outfielder, but Don Kelly, he played infield and outfield. And I think that kind of went into decision making as well when they decided to send Cleat down to get a little bit more work.
Well, it worked out well because Kelly, I think, gave the Tigers some quality games.
And he gave them exactly what they needed, a more versatile player to go into National League ballparks.
2 outs for Ben Francisco. Fouled away, 1-1. Well, players always like to get their stats looking as good as they can heading into the All-Star game. And Brandon Inge is homered for his 20th of the year. Verlander throwing a great game here today. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Jackson and Granderson, the other 2 Tigers All-Stars.
And Jim Leyland said that Verlander would be good to pitch at least 1 inning at the All-Star game on Tuesday, should he get called upon to do so.
1-2-3 inning for Verlander. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, brought to you by Bell Tire. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. What's up, Uncle Blair? Checking in from the ballpark today. 1 ball, no strikes on Placido Polanco. Got a big crowd here today.
It's been a nice weekend. Weather has been spectacular.
It'll be Polanco, Cabrera, and Thames. They had a sellout last night. 41,782. Placido double play ball and a fly ball. That's outside, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch is popped in the air. Again, shallow right field. Valbuena is called off by Francisco. 1 out. How about we look back to another big crowd back in 1979, 30 years ago. Remember this? At Old Comiskey Park on this date, July 12th, disco demolition.
That had to be the worst promotion in the history of professional sports.
Ever. It just did not go really well. It ended up with a crowd on the field. They were blowing up disco records. And that was between double headers, right?
Yeah, I think the Tigers won the second game because
the forfeit.
Yeah.
Here's Cabrera now with 1 out. You got to believe a promotion like that is just not going to end well.
No.
Blowing up records on a field.
That was Mike Veck's idea.
It sure was.
Son of Bill Veck.
0-2 on Cabrera. In the air to right. Shallow. Tough play. And it is caught by Valbuena. What a play that was by Luis Valbuena. That is a heck of a catch.
Well, he's not doing much on the offensive side in Cleveland, but defensively, this is a gem. It's not the last time we'll see this play today. What a play. Garco wasn't going to get there. Francisco and Wright wasn't going to get there. What a play. That's our Lincoln Mercury Exmo replay.
2 outs. Here's Marcus Thames. Boy, we've seen some good defense in this one. Big swing by Marcus. 2 for 2 for Thames. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Driven down the left field line again. This one is down. It's another hit for Thames. He's going to take the turn. He's going to try for 2. And he is in there with a double.
When you're looking to take 2, you got to watch out for Chew. Because he's got holes in the outfield. I like watching him throw. I do.
Did you rehearse that, or did that just come out?
I just thought of it on the fly. But you better get on your look. He's trying to profile, styling and profiling. You better go, boy. He almost got him. He almost got him. You can't be messing around when you're at the ball to left field.
Give that to me again.
You give him a chance to throw.
When you're thinking about 2.
When you're thinking about 2.
You better look out for Chew.
You better look out for Chew.
1 ball and no strikes on Cleat Thomas.
He's got one of the best arms in the outfield in the game today. It works well at any position. Did you see Mark just styling up there?
He was styling. Let's see if he's going to be able to chug home on this. Francisco firing it home, and it is not in time. And what about Cleat Thomas? A triple, a homer, and now a single and an RBI. He takes second on the throw, and he's a double away from the cycle.
Well, you root for guys like Cleat Thomas. He's a real good kid, tremendous baseball player. And Marcus comes up, and he's able to score because he had to with 2 outs. And once Cleat sees this ball go through, he knows he can get down to second base. He also realizes it may be a close play at home plate. Therefore, you don't necessarily mind giving yourself up for the good of the ball club there to make sure you get that 6th run.
6-0 Detroit. Single, triple homer for Cleat Thomas.
He's the leader in the clubhouse.
Well, he has his first career 5 RBI game. That's driven in the air toward left field, way back. Brandon Inge puts a charge into another one. It's gone. His second home run of the game. I'm getting hungry. Arby's. I'm thinking Arby's. 8-0.
How about Brandon getting dialed in, ready for that contest tomorrow. It's been a great year for him. What a story. Went from a guy last year without a position to inheriting the catching position late in the year, only to be told by Jim Leyland, you know what, you're going to be my third baseman next year. And what a year it has been for him. I remember Jim saying at the beginning of the year that Brandon would be one of the keys to the team's success this year.
Well, you can make an argument that he is the first half MVP for this team. I know Verlander and Jackson have been great, but you're looking at your leading home run and RBI man.
He's got a legitimate shot this year as well at winning his first Gold Glove at that position.
I think it's a great point because now he's been able to put the offense with the defense, and now people are really, especially the All-Star selection, really paying attention to him.
21 home runs.
Josh Anderson will bat. Tigers have blown this one wide open, 8-0. Anderson taps slowly first base side. It'll go foul. Josh 0 for 2 in the game. 3 Tigers homers. That means bring a copy of the box score to Arby's tomorrow. Free regular roast beef. Winston Abreu warming up. One and one. One ball, 2 strikes on Josh Anderson. Tigers have 8 runs on 8 hits. Thomas has had the biggest day, although Inge is right behind him with a pair of home runs. Two and two. The other way, shallow left field. Chu coming on to make the sliding catch. Another big inning for the Tigers, and it was capped once again by Brandon Inge. 2-run homer.
Weekend July 24th through 26th when the Tigers take on the White Sox. On Saturday the 25th, the first 10,000 fans receive a Going Green shopping bag. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
Well, a lot of breathing room now for Verlander. 8-0 in favor of Detroit. Big day offensively, big day on the mound as well, as Justin Verlander has handcuffed the Indians on just 3 hits. Cabrera, Sizemore, and Martinez. You couldn't draw this one up any better. On the final day before the All-Star break, great weather, big crowd, big lead.
And if you're Leland and Rick Knapp, you're probably starting to think how long you're going to stay with Verlander in this ball game today.
It's a good question.
You don't want to take anything for granted. The Indians obviously have the ability to score runs, but knowing that Verlander will be going to the All-Star game and more than likely pitching on Tuesday, you would like to limit his workload today as much as possible.
Well, if you look at 6 innings and hand it over to the bullpen in the 7th, assuming it stays 8-0, I think you'd have to feel pretty good.
You should. You should.
But he is he's pitching so well.
Cruising.
Cabrera is 0 for 2.
He has touched 97. That's what Comcast is telling us this afternoon. And he's thrown a few changeups at 71 miles an hour. What a pitcher.
We have seen so many of that exact swing here today. I mean, some real uncomfortable swings
by some good big league hitters.
Yeah, and they've come on fastballs, they've come on breaking balls. Well, after 5 innings, only 72 pitches this start, 96 in his last start through 5 innings. So he's cut down. He's gotten a lot of quick outs, and that is going to be a strikeout. Although Cabrera will argue. He's out of there. Cabrera won't leave the box. Did he feel that he fouled it off? It's a strikeout. That is number 5 for Verlander.
Verlander actually said something to me today.
On the day that he pitched?
He did.
He did not. What did he say?
He did.
Did he grunt or actually say something?
No, he said something to me today.
It was an actual word.
Yes. You know, he's got this little parking spot in the parking structure down there where he kind of parks his, real nice little sports car. And I parked behind him, and I guess I kind of crept a little bit too much into his parking space because he told me that, I got a little bit too close because now his car is out a little bit further than he would like for it to be, and he hopes it doesn't get clipped this afternoon. And I said, well, just give me the keys, and I'll just go down there and move it. And he got a kick out of that. Yeah.
That's drilled in the air to right field. Thomas will run it down. First of all, real nice little sports car is not doing it justice. That's kind of understating it.
Yeah, well, that's probably why he didn't give me the keys to it.
He didn't trust you, did he?
No, but I told him, I said, I'll go move it. He says, no, I think we'll be okay today. But he made sure that I knew the next time I happen to park in that spot, make sure I stay in my own lane.
I assume that's not the car you're talking about.
No. He about shocked me. I'm like, you talking to me?
Well, see, he wasn't at the ballpark technically yet. He wasn't in the clubhouse, so he's able to talk. 1 ball and no strikes on Martinez. Victor double play ball and a flyout. Pulled on the ground and through as Martinez comes up with a 2-out single.
Yeah, you know you're not going to hold him down all series long.
So just the 4th hit given up by Verlander, and yes, all of them have been singles. Shin-Soo Choo. He's 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts. Ball away to Choo, 1-0. I mentioned that Choo is one of those position players that has had the Tommy John surgery. He used to be a pitcher in the Korean national team, the junior national team. And they felt that maybe a lot of the pitching, because He had even admitted that he pitched a lot, sometimes on back-to-back days, threw a lot of pitches, that it might have been some wear and tear on the ligament that eventually gave way, and he needed to have the Tommy John surgery here with the Indians. That's driven to the air toward left. Hit pretty well. And caught. So a 2-out single stranded, bottom of the 6th. Coming up.
Once again off Gosling. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by your Frost Brew Coors Light.
Well, a picture perfect day, and everything's gone well today. Justin and Inge fans here, both all-stars, and both really performing extremely well here this afternoon. By the way, don't forget to visit the official online shop of the Tigers, Tigers.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers gear, including clubhouse caps, T-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and a whole lot more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop. Great day to have the kids out at the ballpark. And we have a new pitcher now, Winston Abreu.
Only the 4th game that Abreu has been in. He comes in with some crooked numbers, but that will happen if you have a bad outing and you don't have a lot of innings under your belt.
Gerald Laird will lead it off. It'll be Laird, Santiago, and Granderson. First pitch inside. Abreu acquired from Tampa. It was on July 2nd. That is through, a base hit. And the first hit of the day for Gerald. He'll take it. Single to left field. Speaking of Tampa, were you watching the highlights last night? Did you see the Oakland Tampa game by chance?
I'm sure I saw some of the highlights.
Well, nothing in particular in the game, but Tampa was wearing the Devil Ray shirts as their throwback jerseys. They threw back to 2 years ago.
I didn't see that. I didn't notice that.
How do you have a throwback game? I mean, they just changed their name.
Wow.
That was pretty funny. The A's had their old uniforms.
Their old uniforms on?
Yeah, they said Devil Rays on the Tampa jerseys. Santiago, the batter. He fouls it away 0-1. Ramon hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Tigers now have 9 hits on the board. And they're getting closer to their 48th win of the season. That's pulled into right, base hit. Laird hits the bag, and he'll hold at second base.
This is impressive, the way that they're playing this game today. And knowing that the All-Star break is coming up tomorrow, they're not mailing it in, nor would he allow them to do so.
So make it an even 10 hits. Here's Curtis Granderson. Eric Wedge. Nothing has gone his way for the most part today. And recently, Mark Shapiro, their general manager, said that Eric Wedge and his staff is safe through the end of the year. Now, regardless of what happens the rest of the way for the Indians, Wedge is signed through 2010. Curtis takes a ball outside, 1-0.
Well, I know Mark Shapiro has a tremendous amount of respect for Eric Wedge, and why wouldn't he? Well, Eric was a minor league manager in the Indians organization when Shapiro was running the minor league system. So he knows what Eric's all about. And he felt like, and he probably still feels like, Eric is the right man for the job to lead the Cleveland Indians.
Well, I think there has to be a certain amount of evaluation in this club which takes into consideration the injuries they've had. He popped him up. Shallow center field. Sizemore coming in, and one away.
Mark Shapiro also went on to say that Eric Wedge is not in this by himself. I mean, you got to look at the coaching staff, you got to look at the players, front office.
It has been a very disappointing season for Cleveland. 35-53 coming in.
They must feel like we felt last year, because we were supposed to be a really good team last year as well, and it was anything but that.
Well, it's definitely hard to swallow, especially when you have a lot of talent on your roster, high expectations. Polanco the batter. We do know this: in the second half, the Tigers, I think things are lining up pretty well for them. When you look at how the schedule has gone, the Tigers have played 2 very long road trips already this year. They've got 41 games at home. They'll play a lot of the Central down the stretch, and a lot of those at home. So they should have that in their favor. That shot to right field, but straight at Francisco.
Well, especially the way they've played here at Comerica Park. Tigers had a tough schedule first half of the year. Those long road trips, playing all those games on the road.
And when you consider that 21-26 on the road, not all that bad.
A couple of trips to the West Coast already.
Two outs, and here is Cabrera. Miguel hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Off the end of the bat, foul. And he was absolutely robbed on a great diving play by Luis Valbuena back in the 5th inning. Otherwise, he might have dumped a 2-base hit into short right. Oh, 0-1 on Cabrera. Trying to extend his hitting streak. He's 0 for 2, and he's hit safely in 11 straight. Maybe running out of opportunities. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Abreu taking over for Gosling here in the 6th. Gosling pitching an inning and a third. Martinez blocks that one. This year, for the first time in quite a while, the Tigers actually have 4 days for the break. In the past, they typically have had only 3 and then have had to hit the road for the second half. Breaking ball missing high, 2-2. But this year, you'll see all the green days there. 4 straight days off, although Thursday will be spent, I should say, traveling to New York. Still an off day.
It's nice to have those 4 days.
And then they'll come right back home after a short road trip. Got jammed and he fouled it away. Looking forward to seeing the new Yankee Stadium?
I am, because everybody that's been there has told me that the place is immaculate.
Yeah, I mean, the clubhouses are supposed to be great. The field itself, the entire building. But really the most important thing is the press dining room, which is supposed to be top notch.
I would think that they would not have it any other way. It costs $1 billion.
Better be good. Everything about it. Pulled, foul outside of the bag at third base.
Well, we're going to see their best, and they're going to see our best, which is just the way you like it right after the All-Star break.
And Verlander or Jackson versus CC on Saturday. And the other guy will go Sunday. All in HD. Stunning HD. Ground ball and a diving stop by Cabrera. His throw is up the line. So Miguel Cabrera will get a base hit, and that'll keep his streak going.
It's a pretty good play by Cabrera. You can see why. And they want him at that shortstop position. Peralta did a nice job there for a while himself while he played there. But Cabrera much more range than Peralta at shortstop.
So an infield hit extends Miguel Cabrera's hitting streak to 12 straight. And the bases are jammed for Marcus Thames with 2 outs. Ball 1.
With that wind blowing out to left the way that it is, Abreu better be careful with Marcus, or Marcus will clear the bases.
It's been blowing out all day. Thames is 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double. He has scored 3 runs. And a big day for the offense with 11 hits.
Marcus said he's going to Mississippi.
Is it?
For the break. I bet it's hot down there.
Tap slowly back up the middle. Cabrera can't handle it. This might get 2 runs in. And it will. Laird and Santiago score.
Great play by Santiago.
He kept his eye on it as he rounded third.
I don't think he would have had a shot at getting Marcus. It would have been a good play if he would have gotten him, but once he did not field it cleanly, he did not go after it right away. And take a look at Santiago running with your head on a swivel. You see now where the ball is, and there's no one close. I can score. Nice job by Raymond, and did not need any help from Gene Lamont. He might get 2 RBIs on that.
Well, let's see. It may be, I think as we look at it, single RBI E6 maybe, allowing that second run to score. But no official scoring on it yet. We do know this. The Tigers have 2 more runs to lead 10-0. Single RBI E6. And for Marcus Thames, his first career 4-hit game.
So then where's the error then? Just by him not fielding it cleanly?
Yeah, the air's on the bobble. He kind of brought his glove up and the ball popped out of his glove, allowing that second run to score. Otherwise, it probably doesn't score. Tony Sipp warming up. So here is Clete Thomas, a double away from the cycle. Strike one.
He might as well go ahead and get it out of the way, especially if he shoots one up at the gap in right center field, because they're shading him in left center field where he hits the majority of his balls.
What if he hits one into the wall? Does he stop at second?
He wouldn't. That's the kind of player Clete is.
Right back to the pitcher, knocked down, and Thomas is out. But the Tigers add two more, and they've extended the lead as we go to the seventh to 10-0. Seventh inning, there's Rick Porcello in the background there, and Rick, of course, had his latest start pushed back. He will not start before the All-Star break, but the other day, Rod, he was throwing a simulated game.
Well, they got to keep him somewhat sharp, and therefore you get him out there and you put some hitters up there and let him throw some pitches. Not too stressful, and I think the All-Star break works out perfectly for Porcello. What is he going to get, a couple of weeks in between starts?
Yeah. And of course, the Tigers have been looking to limit his innings this year. That's one way of doing it. Meanwhile, here in the seventh inning, Justin Verlander has taken the mound. There's a strike called on Travis Hafner. He'll be followed by Peralta and then Garco. 10 runs on 12 hits for Detroit. No runs, 4 hits for the Cleveland Indians. Ball outside, 2-1. Hafner hails from a very small town in North Dakota, Sikeston, North Dakota. In fact, the population is around 75. That's it. That's a small town. That'll head back out of play. It's a farming town, and Travis has said, I'm not into farming.
You think he gets recognized when he's strolling around the town?
Oh, big time. I was reading an article recently on Travis. Just a couple of years ago. I guess they were talking about the fact that the town kind of shuts down. They pull in the Indians games via the satellite. Watch all Travis's at bats around the local restaurants and watering holes. There's a ball. He checked a swing down at third. Wally Bell said he held up. 3-2. Nicknamed Pronk. A former teammate of his who stuck the nickname on him. He was half project and half donkey. Pronk broke in with the Texas Rangers, did Hafner. In fact, Hafner says it's gotten to the point where very few people call him anything but Pronk. Get used to that nickname. 3-2 pitch. Verlander trying to put him away. And again the 3-2. Hammered foul. We were talking about Porcello, Rod, and how the Tigers have been watching his output this year. And they've done a pretty good job, I think, of limiting his innings and the stress that he has pitched under. I mean, many times he'll come out in the 5th or 6th, regardless of what's happening in the game. There's ball 4, so Hafner is aboard.
Well, I know Jim Leyland, once they decided to bring Porcello to the major leagues, he promised David Dombrowski that he would watch him closely. And that he would limit his innings. He would limit the amount of pitches that he threw. And he's done all of that.
Been a nice addition, nice surprise to the staff in the first half. Here's Peralta. That walk, by the way, the second given up today by Verlander. The other was to Francisco. Johnny Peralta, a single and a strikeout. Breaking ball in there, 0-2. Got him. It's another one of those uncomfortable looking swings by an Indians hitter. 6 strikeouts for Justin. Here comes Ryan Garco. Tigers today with a 4-run 4th, a 3-run 5th. The majority of their scoring. That is pulled fair down the left field line. Hafner is on his way to third base and maybe more. They're going to hold him up there. That is a 2-base hit for Garco.
The second baseman, Luis Valbuena.
.100 even for Verlander. Here comes Rick Knapp as the Tigers bullpen begins to work. Rick taking one of those really slow walks out to the mound. There is your duo warming up, Brandon Lyon, Bobby C. And so Knapp has a quick little word for Verlander. The 5th hit given up by Justin.
Have you heard word at all on Zumaya's little cut that he has on his right thumb or whatever that issue is he's going through?
No, the last I heard is he was day to day, but that was yesterday. I don't know if he's available today. Leland was hoping that cut, which is on his thumb, would close up.
Well, he'll have a few more days to allow it to close up, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you're up 10-0 here, and you're going to have 4 or 5 more days for it to heal, so they're in pretty good shape in terms of Zumaya. Luis Valbuena is 0 for 2. He's put the ball in the air twice. Good breaking ball. 1-1.
Verlander doesn't want to give up these runs. He's going to try to strike Valbuena out.
Off the end of the bat, foul. 1-2 on Luis Valbuena. He was acquired by the Indians from Seattle. Franklin Gutierrez went the other way. He showed off his defensive skills in this game. Checked his swing high, 2-2. Ooh, that breaking ball got away from him. Full count. Crowd starting to get behind Verlander now. Almost 40,000 here today. And a swing and a miss. Mission accomplished. He does strike him out. 7 of them now in the game for Justin.
And that may have been his best fastball of the afternoon. You pitch at 94, 95, and then when you need to reach back and get a little extra, you can get all the way up to 98 miles an hour. He is a rare bird indeed.
Here's Ben Francisco. 2 on and 2 out. Ball 1.
I can't wait for the All-Star game on Tuesday.
It's fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm looking forward to watching all the pitchers, because usually there's not a whole lot of offense in these All-Star games because the pitching is so dominant.
Well, the American League is really going to run some harms out there.
I mean, you got Halladay, you got Greinke, you got Verlander, Jackson, Beckett, Papelbon, Mariano Rivera. It's going to be fun to watch.
Is that all you got?
Felix Hernandez.
Oh, okay. He's pretty good too.
He's pretty good too. It's going to be fun to watch. And the other side, they got that little bitty guy too, Lincecum.
That's right. He's really good. Well, he's skinny. I don't know if he's little bitty, but he's skinny.
Hey, his mound presence is off the charts, though.
You know what they say about him, and everybody's so concerned with his mechanics and that he's a big injury waiting to happen.
I've heard that.
Because of his windup, a lot of moving parts, not a real big guy.
He's got some electricity in that right arm, though.
Now it's 3-1 on Francisco. Paws didn't like that last call. Just disgusted. Paws the man a few words. 3-1 pitch. There's a strike. Not so fast, Francisco. Much better, says Paws. Here comes the crowd. 39,000 strong. He lost him. Ball 4. Verlander upset with himself. Is that going to be it?
I don't know for sure, but I don't think the gym would allow him to get out of this situation himself versus turning it over to somebody else.
So Jamie Carroll's going to pinch hit. Cabrera was due up. Carroll, a right-handed batter, will pinch hit, batting .275. How about this duty, stepping off the bench, facing Verlander as a pinch hitter. 0-1.
You wonder what happened to Cabrera.
I don't know.
Did he hurt himself, or is Eric Wedge a little upset at him for not hustling after that ball, which allowed Santiago to score?
Strike called, and it's 0-2. 99 from Verlander there. So Verlander, 114 pitches into this game, has 2 strikes on Carroll with the bases loaded. Trying to get out of the 7th. Laird blocks it.
That one hurt Gerald. I don't know where it got him, but it hurt him.
So much so that Kevin Rand is going to come out. And again, Gerald has caught every game in this series.
Oh.
That's why it hurts so much. Right in the wrist.
Did he get crossed up?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It looked like he was
going down the block and changing.
Right.
And it looked like that ball stayed up.
Well, he's all right. 1-2 on Carroll. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Verlander will get a standing O. His 19 starts. So it's been a consistent year for Justin Verlander.
And it's really good to see that he's been able to dominate the Indians, and he's pitched very well against the White Sox as well this year. A couple of teams that he did not fare very well against coming into the season.
Chris Perez, the new pitcher.
They got him from St. Louis in that Mark DeRosa deal. His debut wasn't pretty either. He smoked a couple of Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, that was not pretty at all. Other changes. Valbuena is the new shortstop. Carroll stays in the game at second. And we have a new catcher as well. So Martinez out of the game. Jimenez is in. Chris Jimenez. Well, Brandon Inge leading it off. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Tigers up 10-zip. Inge has 2 home runs today and 21 for the year. Perez slings one way outside. It'll be Inge, Anderson, and Laird. Tigers busted this one open with a 4-run fourth. Bouncing ball to short for Valbuena. One up and one away. That'll bring up Josh Anderson. Anderson today hitless. The Tigers have 12 hits. Josh looking for his first. A couple of fly balls and a ground out. Strike one. Lifted to left field. Right at Chu. 2 up, 2 down. Gerald Laird stepping in. By the way, that poll question. Here's the update. Who was your first half AL MVP? And Joe Mauer has 47% of the vote.
How about that?
Huh.
He missed the first month of the season.
They're battling it out for second. Ball one. Mauer finally got enough plate appearances to qualify for the top 10 in batting.
Yes, he did. He's an easy player to root for, that's for sure.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, he's a good kid. He plays the game the right way. He's very talented. Souvenir. 1 ball, 1 strike. Perez taking over for Abreu, who took over for Gosling. Oka started this game and was knocked out in the 4th. Two and one on Gerald Laird. Single and a run scored in the 6th.
And Minnesota beating the Chicago White Sox today. 8-1.
Whoa.
In the 4th.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's good for us today. If we win and the White Sox lose,
this would be 3.5. That's going to be it. Laird is out. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. Tigers baseball today brought to you by Bell Tire. Eighth, they've made a couple of changes. Ryan Rayburn is the new first baseman for Detroit. Rayburn replacing Cabrera, and the new pitcher is Bobby C.
It's been a nice first half for Bobby. Real good numbers. He's done a nice job against left-handers. He's done well against right-handers as well. He's pitched in every situation that Jim has asked him to pitch in, and done a nice job.
So he will face Grady Sizemore as we begin things here in the 8th inning. And the first pitch almost hit him. Jimenez to follow, and then Chu. Two balls, no strikes. Grounded foul, first base side, 2-1 on Grady. Sizemore a single in the first inning, 3 hits in the series. Never did get the final numbers on Verlander, and here they are.
They were pretty good.
That big strikeout of Carroll to close out the 7th inning. 7 shutout innings. 73 of those pitches were strikes today. Nice little tune-up for the All-Star break and All-Star game for Verlander. Chris Jimenez on deck. Pulled on the ground and through. Sizemore has his second hit. Leadoff single here in the 8th inning.
The catcher, Chris Jimenez.
And that'll bring up Jimenez. It's also going to bring Jim Leland out. He's actually asking the umpire to come out, so he may have spotted something here on C that he doesn't like. And here comes Kevin Rand right behind him.
I think it's something with his lower back. That's what Gerald Laird motioned to as Leland was walking to the mound. But Bobby says he's okay.
So no official visit. Meanwhile, in the bullpen, Brandon Lyons still throwing. Here's Jimenez. .242 in the big leagues this year. Parts of 6 years in the minor leagues, getting his first opportunity in the major leagues this season. Ball 1. Two years ago, 26 home runs in the minor leagues for Jimenez. There's a strike called, 1-1. Verlander's sitting pretty now to get his 10th win. We mentioned he's done that a couple of times already in his career before the All-Star break, 06 and 07. That is pulled and caught by the third baseman Inge. Hit it right at him. 1 out.
The left fielder, Shin Soo Choo.
Big day for Inge today with his 2 homers, 3 RBIs. Shin-Soo Choo. Oh, 0-1.
And Bobby struck Chu out a couple of nights ago. Chu was up there sitting on a breaking ball, and Bobby threw him back-to-back fastballs for strike 2 and strike 3. Chu did not pull the bat off his shoulder.
And now he's behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, if the Tigers win this game here today, they would move to 19-15 at the break against the Central Division. The 0-2. That'll get back toward the seats and out of play. Tigers 6-2 this year against the Indians. $39,680 in attendance here this afternoon. And a gorgeous day here in the Motor City. Final home game of the first half. The 0-2 pitch. That'll go foul again. Fired up about that souvenir. Tigers today have out-hit the Indians 12-6. It's been a big offensive day for Detroit, and they have backed the pitching of Justin Verlander, who went 7 shutout innings in his All-Star game tune-up. Swing and a miss, and he got Chu again. 2 gone. So much attention is paid to guys like Joel Zumaya and Fernando Rodney, who pitch at the back end of the bullpen, but Bobby C just is putting together one heck of a good season here for Detroit.
Sometimes the biggest outs that you get on any given night are some of the outs that you get in the 7th and 8th inning, and Bobby gets some of those big outs.
Now Hafner with 2 gone. 0-1. Travis in the ball game today, a single, a walk, then on base twice. He is the Indians' all-time leader for designated hitters in home runs with 143. He's hit 9 this year. And he pulls that one to first, scooped nicely by Rayburn. That'll do her. Leadoff single, no damage done. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 10-0 Detroit. since 1849. How about the Comerica Bank game summary? All Tigers today, literally in every aspect of the game. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters, huge numbers. Justin Verlander, huge day. Extra base hits in this series. Tigers have had 11. Cleveland's had a few as well. What a great day for the fans in attendance here. Their final chance to see the Tigers in the first half. Kentucky in the house today. 39. What was our final attendance? 39,680. So this 3-game series did a great job on the Negro Leagues weekend here. Well, Betancourt is on now to face Ramon Santiago. And that's lifted in the air, foul, back out of play.
Betancourt himself has spent some time on the disabled list. Just came back, as a matter of fact. His number's not bad this year. 30 strikeouts and 27 2/3 innings. Opponent's batting average not bad.
Pitching in a 10-0 game here. Tigers well in command of this one. Santiago single hit by pitch, and he has scored a run. Granderson and then Polanco to follow. Roll to the right side. Jamie Carroll has it there, and 1 out.
Hey fans, see the Tigers play the Seattle Mariners July 21st through 23rd. And take advantage of the July double play. Get a pair of upper box tickets for only $29 or 2 lower box seats for $49. It's a savings of $15. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Here's Granderson. 0 for 3 with a walk. Fouled away.
Did you know that Curtis Granderson's foundation, I think it's called Grandkids
Yes.
Foundation, the Thursday after we get back from New York after the All-Star break, he's having like a wine tasting or something like that at the Big Rock restaurant.
Really?
And he and Edwin Jackson will also be auctioned off to the highest bidder for a, I guess, a date.
Really?
Yeah. That ought to bring in some pretty good dough.
Well, I would think so.
Couple single men.
Both eligible.
Couple handsome cats.
You know some people that want to bid?
I'm sure that there will be no shortage of people bidding that evening.
Well, we see that a lot in the off season. A lot of the functions and the gatherings that Tigers have. A lot of the money is raised for various charities. The 1-2. I'm not sure, though. I can remember one where you got a chance to have a date with Curtis Granderson.
Or Jackson.
Or Jackson.
They're both all-stars.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Should have been our poll question today.
Which one?
Which one would command the most dollars?
We still have time. We
Granderson or Jackson?
Something.
We throw one in there real quick.
It might be a dead heat. Poll question. Well, we'll save that for the second half. Here's the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers 3 outs away from running their record to 48-39. Three-two pitch. It'll go foul down the left field line. Meanwhile, Minnesota still beating Chicago big time in the 6th inning, 8-1. So if that score holds up, and this one does, Tigers go into the break with a 3.5 game lead. Again, the 3-2. Pulled to right field, base hit. Branderson has his first hit. Well, after the All-Star break, they'll be headed to New York with the rest of the Tigers. And here is the scheduled pitching matchups, or here they are. It's going to be a nice night, or a big night for Luke French, making his first start at Yankee Stadium.
Think he'll get any sleep this week?
No. Well, maybe this week, but heading up to Friday night, no. I don't think so. He may be tossing and turning Thursday, but that's a good thing. Here's Polanco. Placido is 0 for 4 today. Tigers now have 13 hits on the board. That's in the air to center. Sizemore will make the play and hold on. Tough day for Polanco on a day in which the Tigers get 13 hits. Placido 0 for 5. And here is Rayburn. Couldn't quite make it for the whole game. Rayburn at 271. RBI triple in this series. Thomas has a triple today. The Tigers would need 2 more men to get on base to give Thomas another shot at that cycle. He's a double short. Fleet right now hanging out in the dugout hoping. Oh, 2 on Ryan Rayburn.
Rayburn's numbers have perked up quite a bit the last couple of weeks since he's been getting an opportunity to play. His batting average is at 271. Also, since he made that adjustment in his batting stance, just kind of relaxing that bat on his right shoulder, not pulling it off until the ball's on its way. It's worked real nice for him. Just nice and relaxed. And he just lets it go.
Well, he tripled in a run in his first at bat in the ball game last night.
You know, we were talking about it earlier when we were talking about Gates Brown and him being a hitting coach. Sometimes the simplest things you do allow you to have the most success in this game. All they did was just put the bat on the shoulder. Relax.
There's a strike called, got him looking, and that is going to end the inning. So the Tigers 3 outs away from a win and taking 2 out of 3 from Cleveland. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Got some changes here for the Tigers as we go to the 9th inning. Adam Everett will enter the ball game. He'll play shortstop for Detroit. And Ramon Santiago moves from short to second. And you've got a new pitcher, and that would be Zach Miner. It's been a while since Miner's pitched.
Seems like it.
Let's see, the 5th at Minnesota, July 5th. So he'll get some work here. Up 10-0 as we go to the 9th inning, and a strike is called on Johnny Peralta. Garco then Valbuena for the Indians, who have managed only 6 hits today. Ball outside, 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Verlander fabulous today with 8 strikeouts over 7 scoreless innings. Bobby C came on to pitch a scoreless 8th, and now Miner here in the 9th. It's rolled toward third, foul ball.
I just hope JV's car didn't get clipped in the parking lot today. I'm gonna be in trouble.
If it was, guess who he's calling first?
I know.
You.
I already know. He already told me. I've been trying to get the keys to that thing for a couple years now, though.
Take it for a spin?
Yeah, he ain't giving it up.
Would you?
Yeah.
You would?
I would trust me. I would trust me.
Oh, you would trust you?
If
okay.
I was Justin, I would trust me.
That's low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count on Peralta. And he lost him. So Miner walks the leadoff man here in the 9th.
The first baseman, Ryan Garco.
That'll bring up Ryan Garco. Garco has a double in 3 at bats. He's also flat out to right field twice. Big games offensively today for Cleat Thomas. Single, triple, and a homer, and a career high 5 RBIs. Inge has homered twice, and Thames with a 4-hit game. Boy, to the middle of the lineup show up today. Oh, and 1 on Ryan Garco. You know, Jim Leyland's going to enjoy the break. Nice homestand leading into the All-Star break. Tigers 3 outs away from winning 4 of the 6.
Did the skipper say what he was going to be doing next 4 days?
I think he's going back home to Pittsburgh.
Going to Pittsburgh.
Hanging out with the family.
He'll probably get a chance to watch his son play.
It's always a good thing.
Yep. You don't get a chance to watch your kids play a whole lot during the baseball season. And his son's a pretty good baseball player.
He's really good.
He's a big kid, too.
Patrick.
Yes, that's his name.
Good player. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Miner's 1-2. Pulled foul. Here's that trio that has really done good work today for the Tigers. 4, 5, and 6. Look at these numbers combined.
They did some damage.
Inge adding 2 more home runs to his resume going to the All-Star game. Marcus, 4-hit game. Swing and a miss. Garco is out, 1 gone.
Marcus Thames was the table setter today.
Imagine that.
Yeah, usually he's the one cleaning up the table.
That is 10 strikeouts for Tigers pitching today. 8 of them by Verlander, 1 for C, and now 1 for Miner.
It's good to see Marcus finally get an extended look as an everyday player. He really hasn't had it since coming to the big leagues.
Hit hard to right field and over the head of Cleat Thomas, who got twisted around. Peralta is on his way to third. They're going to stop him there, and there's a double for Luis Valbuena.
But when the ball club was searching for some offense a couple of weeks ago in St. Louis, Jim Leyland said he was going to move Cabrera to that third spot, and he was going to give Marcus a chance to play every day. And Marcus has done well.
Well, with the struggles that Maglio has had this year, the Tigers really have needed someone to kind of step up in the middle of that lineup, and it has been Thames. Here's Ben Francisco. One ball, no strikes.
I think Marcus has hit safely in 22 of the 32 games he's appeared in since coming off the disabled list, with 9 home runs.
2-0. And now it's 3-0. Tigers have more action. Fu Te Ni and Brandon Lyon, who has been warming up a lot here this afternoon. There's ball 4. That's going to load the bases. 2 walks and a double. And it's going to bring Rick Knapp out.
The second baseman, Jamie Carroll.
Jamie Carroll due up. And he'll bat with the bases loaded, not before Rick Knapp has a chat with the right-hander Zach Miner. Talk about how difficult it is for guys that don't get very many at bats to try and find some consistency. And if you're Zach Miner, it's been a while since he has pitched. We talked about the fact that he pitched in Minnesota last on July the 5th. So he's trying to work his way through this inning. Ground ball away from getting out of it, though. Carroll struck out on his first at bat. Only 191 career with the bases loaded. Ball 1. Inside and high, 2 balls, no strikes. Crowd's trying to get a little bit restless. 10-0 Tigers. Miner trying to end this thing here in the 9th inning, but the bases are loaded. Way high again. 3-0. 1 pitch away from walking in a run. Three balls, 1 strike on Carroll. Sizemore due next. He lost it. Ball 4. Bases loaded, walk. 3 in the inning. Jim Leyland is going to make a change. And the shutout is gone. It's a 10-1 ball game. Carroll gets an RBI. And the Tigers go to the bullpen again. Fu Te Ni Ninth inning, and Ni will try and close this game out. This will be his 7th appearance out of the pen since being called up from AAA on the last road trip the Tigers had. Grady Sizemore batting. Ball one up high. Sizemore today with 2 singles, 2 for 4. Hitting .380 career with the bases loaded. Hopped in the air. Rayburn. 2 gone. So it's going to be up to Jimenez. He is their final chance here today. Tigers 1 out away from taking 2 out of 3 heading to the break. And now the crowd coming to its feet. Jimenez 0 for 1. Two and 0. C minor and knee following Verlander today, who went 7. Two balls, no strikes. There's a strike. 2 and 1. Low. 3 and 1. Shin-Soo Choo waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Now 3 and 2 on Jimenez. 1 more strike. And we can go home happy.
I think Jim finding out a lot about knee, since he's been up for a couple of weeks. Well, maybe not quite that long, but I think Jim's going to be able to use him in the second half against certain left-handers in our division in the American League.
Yeah, it would seem to be the case. That was in the air. Foul ground. First base side should do it. Rayburn. Tigers win. Ni comes out of the pen, gets a couple of pop-ups. They leave him loaded. The Tigers win convincingly today. 10-1 the final score. What an effort by Cleat.